Hi, I'm Scott Sheila, our President and CEO of Construction Ready. Welcome to the Construction Ready podcast, where we work to showcase the amazing career opportunities available in the skilled trades. Here is our host, Chip Wade.
Hello, everyone. Chip Wade here from Wade Works Creative. I am so excited for another Construction Ready podcast. If you're joining us for the first time, Construction Ready really believes in the importance of raising awareness of all of the really amazing career opportunities available, specifically in the skilled trades. Now, today, we're actually going to be speaking with Mike Dunham. He is the CEO of the Associated General Contractors of Georgia, which we are very honored to have. Now, this is actually a professional trade association that represents the commercial construction industry across the state of Georgia. Now, also, this association includes more than 600 of the top contractors across Georgia as well, and acts and advocates on their behalf for policies and programs to support the construction industry. So, Mike, thank you so much for joining us today. I know you were going to have a lot of stuff to be able to share with us, but thanks for spending the time.
Looking forward to it.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of how you got kind of involved with AGC Georgia, a little bit about that, the mission of that organization.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. I've been around AGC now for 42 years. I came right out of college with a great opportunity to go to work for a construction industry in North Louisiana, where I grew up. I went down to Jacksonville, but I've been here in Georgia since 1995.
Okay.
AGC Georgia is one of 89 chapters in America. Our role is pretty simple. I learned this elevator speech to keep it simple and quick. We're here to help contractors be the best contractor they can be and to build a better industry. So we work every day on behalf of the construction industry to improve the industry in our state and then help companies be successful.
So tell me a little bit about that. Obviously, we're always talking about skilled trades, that there's a shortage. Nobody's really disputing that at all. But what specifically are you guys doing as AGC to raise the awareness of this shortage of skilled labor?
In our strategic plan, it was no surprise that workforce development was the very first thing that came up. When we do advocacy and we do networking and we do safety, which is very important in our industry, but workforce development was first because this is our industry's challenge. Georgia is one of the best states to do business in. We've successfully been ranked as one of the best states for over 10 years now. Well, every time you hear the word economic development, the very next thing you think about is construction. Nothing happens in our state economic development wise that construction is not a part of it. They expand a plant. We bring a new plant. If you've driven down to Savannah lately, you've seen what $5 billion looks like on 3,000 acres and building a new car plant. So every time economic development happens, we have construction. But with construction comes the demand for more people. Right. We're just not bringing enough folks into our industry. The numbers are pretty large. 4 folks are leaving. That's just because they're aging out population-wise, and we're only bringing 1 person in. You can see pretty quick as an industry that's not sustainable. So our job has been to raise the awareness in young people, men and women, to see that construction can be a great career. It's a high-demand career. Many years ago, we were successful in receiving that designation by the state. And with a high-demand career, you have the opportunity to work anytime, anywhere. But here's the other thing. It's a high-paying career. People just don't understand the kind of money you can make in construction, what it's being paid now per hour. And that demands across the board: carpentry, electrical, plumbing, masonry. It's all needed. So our industry's responsibility is just help make sure that people are aware of the opportunities and what kind of money. And, this old adage, everybody needs to go to college. We've suffered with that now for over 30 years. It's just not true. And people are beginning to wake up and realize that, hey, there's a better way to make a really great living, and this state's going to provide lots of opportunity.
I appreciate you touching on that. I mean, that is one of the biggest threads that we see is all these myths, around skilled trades. You kind of touched on it just now. The the kind of the adage that, oh, you can't make a lot of money in the trades. You can't do enough to support a family or actually build a career, that it's temporary and like is only negatives. But really, I mean, what we're seeing, it's almost 100% the flip side to that. It seems like this is where all of the opportunity seems to be kind of rising up. And so it's really more of an education thing, right? To showcase the significance of the opportunities that are out there, right?
Absolutely. Anyone that's had to have something done on their home and work around their house, they really realize pretty quickly, hey, I need a new hot water tank. Well, I'll get to you in 2 weeks. What do you mean 2 weeks? There's just not enough of the tradespeople. Companies are struggling every day, and it's beginning to have some limitations on companies' ability to grow. They just can't take on more work without more people. And the great thing about construction too is if you want to become an entrepreneur and be your own boss or grow your own company, there's really a great path to be able to do that in construction. And then if there's a few folks that say, I do want to go into college, Georgia has 3 of the best construction management programs in the country at Kennesaw State, Georgia Tech, and Georgia Southern University. So if you want to go on and pursue a career and go through the academics, construction has that path for you. Contractors are needing superintendents and project managers and estimators. But right now, we're very focused on the skilled trades because that's where we're finding our biggest struggle.
That actually really resonates with me. I mean, I worked in an office. I went to Georgia Tech, but I worked in an office right out of school. And I prayed. I was like, I want an opportunity to do something outside of the office. And, I didn't even realize it, but it was just what was in me. I was intended to be in the field working with my hands. That's what I'm most skilled at. And it gives me the most satisfaction. So I think there's so many people that probably, are almost, for lack of a better word, almost like imprisoning themselves, in the pursuit of what they think is, an opportunity, when really the real opportunity is sitting in front of them out in the field or in the trades, getting to work with their hands. And so again, I'm definitely the poster child for that. I absolutely love it. I get such satisfaction out of it. And so again, thank you so much for what you're doing there. Let's kind of change directions a little bit let's talk a little bit about, from like the legislative side. You're so involved kind of in, the hands-on piece of it, on the ground, but also as advocates for the construction industry specifically. Let's talk about what you guys as AGC are doing in Georgia for monitoring it this year.
Construction is a very regulated industry. Every governmental agency has some rule, some permit, some penalty if you don't do it right. From the Department of Revenue to the environmental departments to OSHA. So it's a very regulated industry. It's important for AGC to be the voice of the construction industry, to go down there and help contractors be successful. Our legislative initiatives are every single year a very big part of what we do. We have a full-time government affairs program that goes to the Capitol, a person on staff that works that specifically, but it's not just the legislative process at the Capitol. It's all the departments that regulate our industry that we interface with and work to help, make construction work. I know during the pandemic was probably one of our finest hours that we were able to have in place some regulation that allowed privatization of inspections. When all the cities and counties shut down and their inspectors went home, we had the ability to keep our industry working. We were seen and designated as an essential service, and then we had the ability to continue to do work because we had put in place legislation that helped our industry. So being an advocate, being the voice, being at the Capitol full time, working with our governmental agencies is just a real big program for us. We've most recently involved ourselves in a court action when there was a lawsuit brought, and we filed an amicus brief, friend of the court brief, to support our position, and we were victorious in that. So just a lot that we do on behalf of the construction industry and supporting contractors every day.
That's awesome. I mean, so I think that's also a big differentiator. We talk about like this, agencies and, these committees, and it all seems, very kind of top level, almost political, where I think that can give some people like a little bit of hesitation, like what is the real motivation behind what they're doing. And what I love about what AGC Georgia is doing is y'all are actually not just talking about, legislation and kind of showboating and being, just all words. You guys actually hosted a skills challenge for workforce development programs across the entire state. That didn't it bring in like 2,000 students from over 100 high schools? That's a real challenge. That is really putting into practice, figuring out how we fill the pipeline for this talent moving forward. Tell me just a little bit about what y'all did there.
Well, my call to action has been for the industry is to get out behind your desk and go shake the hand of an instructor. We can't allow or shouldn't be expecting the Department of Education and the technical college system to fix this for us. This is our challenge. No one's going to fix it for us but us. And so 15 years ago, we took up the efforts to support our high school system. We have 185 high schools that have construction programs, and that's big. I talk to my counterparts across the country, and they don't have that kind of framework. So we have a lot to work with, but we don't only put on one skills challenge, we put on 8 in about a 3-week period. We were in Gainesville and Macon and Rome and Augusta and Statesboro and Moultrie and Columbus, 8 of them in a 3-week period. And so we had a lot of students there, a lot of observers, people that were students that were there to be next year's competitors. And we gave these young men and women an opportunity to demonstrate what they're learning in the classroom. They were able to then qualify to go on to the Skills USA state competition in February. But one of the other things that I'm really proud of is the number of folks like the parents and the grandparents that are beginning to come and support their students. We've had a number of our political leaders come through to see what we're doing and understand when we have that call to action, we need support. They understand what it's for and why we do it. So this is a program where it's really taking a hands-on approach. Contractors all over the state are raising money. They're donating their time, which is the most valuable thing they have to give us, and then also donating materials and engaging in this process to have these folks see that career path. And there's some of these young people who are coming out, going right into our industry. Others are continuing their education to go on for additional training. So this is our issue. It will be our issue for a very long time. And I'm pretty proud of what the membership's doing across the state, the champions, the leaders, the number of folks who have stepped up, because if we don't fix it, nobody will. And this is our issue.
Well, Mike, it looks like you're kind of like on like a press conference stage there. I don't think those are SEC championship trophies behind you, but what you got behind you?
I said a minute ago, AGC of America has 89 chapters across the country. Every year, there is folks that are selected to be chapter of the year. In our world, we have been successful in doing that now 3 times, and we're now the 2023 chapter of the year. One of these is the most recent one, and that's a product of a lot of effort on the part of some really great team members here. The staff is very invested in our industry. They support our members. Our members are some of the best. They get engaged. So goes to the volume of work that we do. We've got the workforce thing going at a level probably second to none. We're very involved in the government affairs. Safety's been a big part of what we've done for our industry over the years. We have a full-on engagement of our membership growing the future of the industry through a Young Leaders Program and a group called our Executive Alliance, which will be the next owners and C-suite leaders in their companies. So pretty proud of being named Chapter of the Year in 2023. And I think it's just, again, it's a testament to the overall organization and how well we're doing.
Yeah, no doubt. And congrats from this side too. Well done. All All right, as we wrap up, is there anything, that you guys have on the docket for next year for 24 that, about just, continuing to raise this awareness in the construction industry? What should people be looking out for? What can we watch out for?
Well, our legislative agenda, as it has for the last few years, contains a component of going down to the Capitol and making an ask of government to fund construction programs. This stuff wears out. Their labs have equipment that gets old over time. We need to replace that. So we need monies. We need support of the teachers. The profession of teaching is underpaid across the board. There's no surprise to anybody about that. But construction teachers do a lot to go over and above in their efforts, so we support that. So the legislative package will have an element containing workforce development. We have next year's 8 events already calendared and are working towards just making them bigger and better for next year. And again, as the session hits, we'll just monitor, there's about 3,000 bills introduced every 2 years in the legislative process. And that's a lot to have to keep an eye on. And then, of course, membership growth around here is a constant, and engaging our members to take advantage. Our educational programming on a local level has grown more since the pandemic. Of course, it dropped off, but now it's back up to a very high level. And it shows that the members are investing in their people. So pretty bullish on our state's economy. I would keep wanting to talk ourselves into a recession, and there may be one at some point in time. Georgia's positioned itself quite well to be a leader in the South. You've got the port, you've got your airport, and the growth of both of those. All this new industry is coming, so pretty bullish on where the need is for infrastructure demand, and the growth for construction is going to be very high. So it's going to be a great 2024, and I see the industry taking leadership. Construction taking a leadership role in all aspects.
I love it. Well, Mike, thanks so much for spending the time. Tell us if anybody's interested in the skills challenge that we kind of talked about, where can they go to find more info on that?
Well, of course, we've got a site on our website that talks about the skills challenges. It talks about the leadership, how to dial in. All things are sort of local, so the people in Statesboro that put on that big event down there, or Augusta, or right here in the city of Atlanta's big event, you can reach out. Before I left the event the other day, someone walked up and handed me a card and says, "I want to be a sponsor next year. This is great." I had a supply company watch what was taking place. It says, "We're going to take care of all your plumbing needs next year. These students are who we have to have." So there's a lot of ways to get engaged. To support what the students are doing, support what the contractors in that region are doing. So just reach out to AGC, go to our website for more information, and we'll give you an opportunity to help the future of our industry.
Well, Mike, Dunham, thanks so much for what you're doing and what AGC Georgia is all about, and definitely appreciate your time today. It was a pleasure chatting.
Good to talk with y'all. Thank you very much.
All right, have a great day.
Take care.
See you.
If you would like more information on Construction Ready and the many programs we have for those interested in the skilled trades, please visit constructionready.org.